Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It is Feedback Friday. That's right. It's our time of the week where we pause and reflect on the beauty that is feedback. For those of you who are meeting for the very first time, my name is Dr. Shanita Williams. I consider myself a feedback enthusiast because I believe that if we are able to leverage the beauty of feedback, we truly have the keys to unlocking and unleashing our full potential. So today is Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and this is the time of year. I love this time of year because it's always about the spirit of thanks, the spirit of Thanksgiving, and the spirit of gratitude. And while I believe this is one of my most favorite times of year, I think it's important for us to be in this spirit every day. Would you agree? I mean, imagine that. What would it be like if every day we reflected on the things that we were thankful for? Now, in a lot of the research around positive psychology, there's tons of studies out there that say if we are able to build an attitude of gratitude and really have a mindset and practice mindful activities, we can actually see tremendous benefits from having an attitude of gratitude. And when it comes to feedback, I think this is important because hearing thank you and giving thank yous is a big part of the feedback experience. Now, what are some of the benefits that can be felt from having an attitude of gratitude? Well, studies have shown that individuals who have a mindset of gratitude and practice this intentionally actually see stronger immune systems, lower blood pressure. So our physiology can actually change based on how we think about the world. So having an attitude of gratitude is definitely a huge benefit to our immune system. It's also a huge boost to our emotions. People who are able to practice mindfulness activities around gratitude actually see more optimism, they actually are happier, and they are actually they experience much more joy traditionally than others. They also are able to experience more empathy, more compassion, and just all those feel-good hormones with coming from a spirit of thanks. In addition, we find that individuals who practice mindfulness activities also see an increased sense of self-worth, all because they have this mindset. So I've given you tons of ideas and examples about why this is so powerful, but I want to pause and think about how does this intersect with the world of feedback? Well, in the workplace, there was actually a study that was done to about 2,000 participants, and they asked them about their feedback experience. A lot of them said that overall in the study, it said people are less likely to experience or give thanks in the workplace, which I find fascinating, especially when they say we spend 80% of our lives at work and people are less likely to experience gratitude in the workplace. Now, here's the thing. In that study, they said only 10% of those in the study reported actually getting a thank you at work. Wow. Imagine that. Working 80% of your life, whether it's in an office, outside of the office, being self-employed, whether it is volunteering, wherever you work, whatever that work looks like for you, working in the home, imagine only hearing a thank you 10% of the time. Meaning 9 times out of 10, you're working hard. And yes, I know I hear people say, well, you're doing your job. I don't need to thank them. They're doing their job. But when I just shared with you, there are tremendous benefits of actually going a step further and saying thank you. So when you think about giving feedback, let's not just focus on telling people all the things that they can do better. Let's focus on also telling people thank you. Now, how do you give a meaningful thank you? That's what I'm going to give you some tips on today. How do I give a meaningful thank you so that it lands and that people can really feel like it's a heartfelt thank you? Because there was actually another study that was done in 2012 that said they asked managers about hearing thank you. And the managers reported saying, individuals who told me thank you, I thought they were just trying to get on my good side. I don't know that it was authentic or that it was truly heartfelt. So I feel like we have this weird relationship with just hearing thanks and people being appreciative only because we don't hear it enough. So here's some quick tips. I'm gonna give you 3 tips on how to give meaningful feedback. Now, these were inspired by the Harvard Business Review article on how to give a good thank you. The first thing when you're giving a thank you, I know some of us just say thanks, either via email or passing by. But the first thing we want to do is really lean into the behavior. what is the specific behavior that we want to thank them for? Now, calling out the behavior is important because I don't know about you. Have you ever received a thank you and you weren't sure exactly why they were thanking you because it was so general? Were they thanking you for just showing up? Thank you for, paying attention. Thank you for what? So we want to be very, very specific about the behavior that we want to thank. So for example, I want to thank all of you. Thank you so much for showing up to my live today, for being engaged, for participating, and just taking time out of your day to hear me. So thank you. That's a specific behavior that you want to call out. Now, the second thing you want to do is actually talk about the effort. You want to acknowledge the effort that it takes for the behavior that you're thanking. So that acknowledgement helps that person actually understand that you realize that it took work, that it took effort. So an example might sound something like, I know it's the day after Thanksgiving and you can be doing a lot of other things on your Friday night, but I thank you for taking a moment to log in, to be here, to spend your precious time with me. That is acknowledging that people don't have to be there, right? So that's the second step in giving meaningful feedback. The last and final tip that you want to think about when you're giving meaningful feedback is all about talking about the impact. Really helping that person understand how their behavior impacts you. So it could sound something like, when you take the time to show up here today, it really means a lot to me. It makes me feel like the content that I have to share is meaningful, that you find some little value in our time together, and it really means a lot in the sea of all the IG lives that are happening that you took out the time to be here with me, and it really, really means a lot to me. So those are the 3 tips that you can do. Make sure you acknowledge the specific behavior, acknowledge the effort it takes for them, and then talk about the impact it has on your life. If you could take your thank yous and your gratitude of mindfulness just one layer deeper, the likelihood of that individual really feeling the full breadth and depth of your thanks is much more likely to be felt. Now, the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with so that you can get back to your Thanksgiving leftovers is really, how do you personally build gratitude for yourself? If you're someone who says, I don't know that I have a spirit of gratitude, or it maybe takes a little bit more effort and energy for me to say thanks, or for me to see the beauty in the things around me, because let's be honest, 2020 has been pretty hard for all of us. Here are some things that you can do to try to build a mindfulness kind of practice around gratitude. The first thing that you could do is actually journal. You can either wake up first thing in the morning or wrap up your day with it, but journaling all the things that you're grateful for. Intentionally focusing your mind on the things that have happened throughout the day or the things that have happened over the course of the week that you appreciate. For me, there's a lot going on in 2020, but when I pause and really think, I'm able to capture so many things that I'm grateful for, so many wonderful things that are still happening in my life that I appreciate. We can't lose sight of that. And that's why journaling is a really great tool to use. The second thing that you can do is really do just a simple reflection activity. Sometimes, let's be honest, the world is going a mile a minute. I cannot believe that it's the holiday season right now. I can't believe we had an election. I can't believe it's going to be 2021. I feel like it was just Y2K and we were all worried about that. It is 2020. Sometimes pausing and reflecting on where you are today and where you've been is a great mental exercise to help you really chronicle and reflect on what are the experiences I've actually had. I've come a long way. Granted, you may not be where you are or be where you want to be, but where you are is much further than where you were. So being grateful that you're not still the same person you were when you were 10, 15. Thank God I'm not the same person I was when I was 20, right? I am so thankful for the evolution and the growth that's happened. But we have to pause and force ourselves to reflect on the journey. And in that journey, you'll be able to be thankful and grateful for the challenges that have come your way, but the challenges that you've overcome. All right, the last thing that you want to do is reflect on, actually do thank you notes. So the act of actually writing out a thank you is so powerful. Really putting that pen to paper and simply just writing out, maybe in those 3 steps that I shared with you, can be such a powerful exercise. What is the behavior you want to thank them for? Acknowledge how much effort it took or the sacrifice that they had to make. And then wrapping up with the impact it makes on you is such a powerful exercise. But let me tell you this, receiving that thank you note, that recipient, studies have shown that when you receive these acts of gratitude and these thankful gestures, that it does something to your brain, and it releases all of those feel-good hormones that don't just last in that moment, but that continue on to last for weeks and sometimes even months. I don't know about you, but I have a little box of thank you notes. I also have a little virtual email I call my warm and fuzzy file of any nice thing anyone's ever said to me. And I like to pop in that file every now and then, and now and again, to kind of reset and make sure that I don't forget that while I made a mistake this week, or maybe I had a tough go for the last month or two, that life is still good and I'm still a human, and there's still people out there who believe that to be true as well. So if you want to build your gratitude muscle, try those 3 activities to help you share gratitude in the world. And I believe that we truly can make the world a better place if we're giving out positive feedback, sending out expressions of gratitude as much as we can. So thank you all so much for coming here today, from watching me either live or Facebook or on YouTube, and spending your precious time with me today. It is my hope that you took something from this that you could take out and share in the universe around you. It really means a lot to me to see each and every one of you here. Thank you, Lola Gia, Karen Forner, Denise August, and Tamika Bryant. Thanks for being here today. Have a great weekend all, and I'm thankful for each of you.